Welcome back to Etc. Podcast. I'm your host, Victor Lowe, my co-host, Mark. How you doing, sir, on this fine Saturday night?
Doing good. Thanksgiving was just a couple days ago.
Bro, I've had, like, my Thanksgiving plate 5 times in a row. I've not eaten anything different.
You know what's funny about that? Because I just had this thought, I think, today or yesterday. It might have been yesterday because I ate your food. I was like, I kind of want to be that family that has Thanksgiving at their house, because when you do, all the food stays at your house.
That's been the plus for me every time.
You know what
I'm
saying?
Living off leftovers.
Yeah, so it's like, for me, it's like I can only eat Thanksgiving as much times as far as how many plates I pack myself. So I only had one, and that was literally it. So, you know, for the most part, I only had Thanksgiving 1 or twice, but you had it 5 times now. So.
Yeah, it's getting a little crazy, and I might have it at 6 tomorrow because I'm gonna pack it for lunch for work, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that's dope, and now it's officially time for the Christmas. So we down with the Christmas.
So you put your Christmas trees up, your decorations, and now Christmas time.
Yeah, I would say keep these mics kind of close because it's like sensitive. Gotcha. Like the minute you move, it's like you can't even hear.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's dope. Had a great time. You guys came through. We played some Overcooked. Yep. Great time. Conquer and divide. My sister wanted to tell you that. So here we are.
Conquer and divide, yeah.
But yeah, so we move on to another season. I did want to bring up something and show you something.
Okay.
Just because it's been like my favorite thing for the past week or whenever since I discovered this. Gotcha. Do you know who Action Bronson is? Action Bronson is, Mark?
I'm going to say no, but I've heard the name before.
Yes.
I feel like I definitely should. But yeah.
Well, yeah. So he's a rapper / chef, former chef / video. Like he's a entertainment personality. He had his own shows and stuff. The whole 9. Me and Quinn are like big fans of him. He had a show on Vice called Fuck That's Delicious. And it was a food show. He would travel, he would also perform music, and he had his posse with him. It was a good show. Then over time, like I got picked up by another network, and then I got to a point he was, I'm just gonna do it on my own, because he got to a point where he's comfortable doing so. Wrote some cookbooks. He has great albums. They're very like his own style. It's all dope. I played some in the car on the way here. That's partially why I did that to you. Gotcha. I played Only for Dolphins for him on the way. He was like, what are these dolphin noises?
The SpongeBob album.
Yeah. So he's a dope guy. Pretty funny, cool person. Just overall, just like one of those people that down to earth. But I don't know if you were paying close attention to like the lyrics of this music as I was playing it. They're a little all over the place, and it's kind of intentional, but it's still just like you can't help but vibe with it. So because of that, the people that follow him have like picked up on like how he made, like, how you hear a bar, you're like, that sounds like a Drake bar, or that sounds like a Lil Wayne bar, even though it isn't. They have made a Twitter page called Accidental Bronson, right? And recently he was on the Action Bronson was like on another podcast, and they showed it to him, and he was like rating them. I just want to read some off for you, even though you're not so familiar with him. Gotcha. Maybe people at home who do listen to him will appreciate a little bit more, but I just want to go through a couple of these because they're so accurate, but it's the fact that they weren't meant or intentional in the fact that they wanted to sound like him.
What was funny is that in the car, I did hear one bar, and I was cracking up in my head, but I don't remember it right now. But it was something he said, and I was like, hey, yo, okay. Yeah. And I was repeating it in my head, and I was like, okay.
So I'm going to try and get this pulled up. Yep. It's at Accidental Bron on Twitter.
Got you.
But it'll literally be random stuff. Like it'll be like maybe somebody posts like a Snapchat photo, but the caption they put to it is just like just random shit that he would say. So this one is pinned. I guess this is most popular. And it's a picture of a guy on a trampoline doing a backflip. And it says, I made the Jehovah's Witness watch me do backflips. And that's something that he would literally put in a song randomly. And it just kills me every time. And I hope that you start to listen to him, because you're going to start to realize how much more.
I think I'm going to check him out now. Just
let me see if I can find another one. There's another one that I guess an Oklahoma kicker posted on Instagram, and the caption says, I'm like communion, that cracker with the juice.
There you go. Cracker with the juice.
Somebody said cooking crack in a traditional Italian brick oven.
Hey,
something he would do. Cat litter clump shaped like the Belvedere torso. Don't know what the fuck that even.
What?
Somebody said, I bought some leather restraints from Turkey that came up wrapped like a kilo.
Yeah, that's so like everywhere. I can't even put it together.
All right, what else? playing Brazilian 10-string guitar with rattlesnake tails. And there's like an actual person playing with rattlesnake tails.
How do you come up with
I'm
that?
cruising through the rain with warm wonton soup in my cup holder.
That's kind of hard.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard.
What else we got here? I'm up smoking that shit from Discount Tire. I found somebody. There's a 7-minute video of him reading them all off, and he was just like rating them. He's like, that shit's hard. He's like, I can't even. Somebody else playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on a 2007 Nissan Skyline. Oh man, but yeah, those are just a couple of examples that I thought,
That's great.
Every time what's funny though is when I'm on Twitter now and I don't see the @ name of who posted this, I'll read it. And I'm like, yo, that sounds like Action Bronson. And then I read the fucking problem, like, yo, it's Accidental Bronson. So that's just been my whole week, and I've been enjoying the shit out of that.
That's hilarious.
So to any Action Bronson fans out there, that'll be a lot more funny to you guys, for y'all that know him. Yeah. Also check out his show too, and he be posting them on YouTube now. But
what's it on? I know you just said YouTube.
So as of right now, his most recent stuff, he just posts on his own YouTube channel, and he'll have like people produce it for him. So that's like the most recent stuff. He has Fuck That's Delicious. Well, right now his most recent thing, he's been in Paris. Like he filmed like hours worth of stuff in Paris in different restaurants, and he just like chopped it up into parts. And then he also has another one where it seems like he's just getting money off of it, where he cooks like in his own kitchen, but like Captain Morgan and like all these other brands will like sponsor the video. He'll just be he'll make like a dish and accompany it with whatever drink. So it's cool stuff. He was genuinely like a chef before he like was rapping. So
that's what's up.
It was dope too. Is like he was a lot bigger back in the day, and then I think like COVID up until now, he went heavy into like his like body, like working out type shit. Okay. So he's like lost hella weight. It's also kind of dope too, like inspiring to see, especially if you've been following him for a minute. But yeah, it's good shit. Before that, I think his stuff is also still on Vice. It's also on Hulu. Okay. If you go on Hulu, all his Vice stuff is on there. Like I think like 2 seasons worth is on there.
Okay, definitely check that out.
Yeah. That one back then, that's what really got me into it, because it would just be like him and like his homies or like his posse, and they'll be like eating, but they'll also just like walk around New York on all some regular shit, and he'll have like his cousin just be like, yo, like what the fuck going on? Like pull up in a random corner, just start hyping people up.
Yeah.
You ever heard a sound? I know you're back on TikTok now, so I don't know if you heard, or like if you heard on Instagram Reels, but there's like, everything I know is Puerto Rico this and Puerto Rico that. That's from Fuck That's Delicious. I don't know if you've heard that before.
I don't think I have, but that's hilarious.
And the best part about that, his cousin said that, right? Or I don't know how he's related. I think he's his cousin. His cousin said that. He's not Puerto Rican. He was just chilling with a bunch of Puerto Ricans on the corner. Yeah, he's Albanian, I think, or some shit. All I know is Puerto Rico. He was like, they was eating like rice and shit.
I'm dead. Yeah, you got hilarious somehow,
But yeah, that's Accidental Bronson. Hopefully I've made a new Action Bronson fan today. He was in Philly recently, and I went to go to a show, but it was like, I thought it was going to be low-key, like not expensive, and then I saw the ticket price. I was like, that's insane. Because it was like, not the Fillmore, but like another small venue. It was like $200. I'm like, jeez. It was probably resale, but still, I'm like, I didn't know y'all was riding that hard for him.
Yeah.
But in other news, I feel like we have to talk about this since we record here. I think I know, where I'm going with this.
This man.
DIDDY, Sean Diddy Combs, Puff, also known as I think Love at one point. He changed his name a lot. Probably. I think he's in Love era right now, because he dropped the album called Love, and he was like, it's all love, man. It is not all love. Just want y'all to know that. And the only reason I bring this up is because I don't know if they still are, so I don't want to like say this without knowing all the facts. Yeah. But the studio that that's P. Diddy coming in. I gotta stop.
Hey, yo, what'd you say about me?
Yeah, he just punches through the wall behind me. Through the grass.
Nah, it is love.
Yeah. But the studio that we rent out to record our podcast in, the people that like own this place and run this place in Miami, I believe they struck up a deal with P. Diddy to like fund another one of these studios to be put out in Miami. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if anything has changed since then. So like, don't come for them. I don't know what's going on with the business side of things. It probably got upended or whatever it may be. But that was the thing at one point. So I'm like, since we're here, we got to bring this up, because P. Diddy is tied to this place in a way.
Yep.
So if y'all that don't know, Cassie, old songs, if you don't know her, it's like, gonna make a move now. And you tell me, that's her, right? Tell me if you like it. Yeah. Or is that Sierra?
It might be Sierra.
Hold on. I gotta clear this up.
What are you talking about? I'm just, I can't.
Give me 1 second, please. I gotta clear this up because that was really bad if it's not her.
I feel like I've heard one of her songs. And
you for sure have. I mean, she hasn't been making music recently, but like way back in day.
And I'm just trying to think of this song. I'm trying to think of the title. I feel like I remember the picture of the album too, and that's what I'm trying to think of.
Come on, start playing, please. Don't make me wait all day.
Who's one?
It is her.
Hey yo, okay, yeah.
But yeah, this is her. Very beautiful woman. She used to date Diddy way back in the day, and early in her career, and she was signed to his label. And this is where a lot of the initial allegations are coming from, stemming from that up until the end of their relationship, because they dated for like 10 years or some shit. But I actually wrote everything down, so I'm gonna do that so I can properly report on this before we get sued.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because we actually were just talking about this man last time.
Yeah.
You right now.
Some of the allegations were the R word, human/sex trafficking, abuse, sexual assault, sexual battery, were just some of the stuff that were like brought up.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask this question because I feel like I've never understood this. What is battery?
It's like not only because assault, I believe assault is technically like the act of actually, like if I were to like punch you, it's assault.
Yes.
But like battery, I think is more of like threatening.
Got you. Okay.
Just like, or like making somebody believe that I'm going to do these things to you, like striking fear in somebody else purposely. Like,
got you. Okay.
Just threats and stuff like that.
I'm like, why do you call it battery?
I'm gonna double check that as well. You know what we need? We need a Jamie. You ever watch, like, you know, like Joe Rogan and like all those other shows? They always have like a tech guy that looks straight up.
It's funny because Shits and Giz has the same thing. They have two people.
Yeah, and then they have them in the back.
Yeah,
we need one of those.
I was low key thinking that so many times too. I'm like, bro, it just makes it so much easier to like figure stuff out.
So yeah, I'm saying, but he don't want to come back. He his heart's not in it.
It's building TV stands and stuff now.
What's the difference between assault and battery? Assault charges typically involve the threat of assault. I had it mixed up.
Ah, okay.
So it involved the threat of violence, inducing fear in a victim, and then battery is when they're carried out.
Got you.
Got you. So yeah, so that's what he's been accused of. And that came out, and they, you know, she had those allegations out there. And since that came out, I believe, or I'm pretty sure it's a fact at this point that they like settled outside of court. So I'm guessing there was like a outside, like I guess their team spoke and they agreed on a number or whatever it may be to avoid, I guess, a long drawn out process, as well as avoid any of his prize secrets coming out, because in court you kind of have to put all that stuff out there, and it's usually like legal stuff can drag out years. Like we saw like the same thing with Amber Heard and like Johnny Depp.
Once it comes out, it's like now you got to start bringing into other stuff,
and everything gets aired out. You bring in other people questioning. It's a long thing. And like we said before, Diddy got some secrets, and he probably didn't want all that stuff coming out in the process.
Yeah,
it's almost damn near confirmed at this point that like P. Diddy's a homosexual, or at least bisexual. I don't want to say homosexual because he dates women.
Yeah. What came out that we like?
Orlando Brown said that he had boom bop blue lap bop from him, and then other people have also said like I've seen Diddy, you know, do some things. So yeah, so like they're like I've walked in on him like with a man, or he, you know, gets a little weird with men. 50 Cent also said like he was hanging out with him one day, and Diddy was like, oh, like come on, like come hang, let's, you know, you mean you hang out, like I'll take you shopping, I'll pay for everything. He's like, what are you talking about? Pay? Like, you imagine saying that to 50 Cent, bro? Like, knowing he has his own money. This isn't like just starting 50 Cent. This is like many men. Like he got bread. 50 Cent.
That's what P. Diddy was.
Yeah,
P. Diddy was many man.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah, exactly. He heard that. He was like, oh, come on, come out.
But yeah, he has a lot of stuff going on with him. He slapped Drake way back in the day. I don't know if you remember that. That was very early on.
Yeah.
He like slapped Drake for some reason. He tried to fight J. Cole. J. Cole whooped his ass. And like P. Diddy admitted that. Yeah. Because I think he like was briefly talking to Cassie, like just like having conversation with her. And I believe that was the issue. But he fought J. Cole. J. Cole's like 6 foot something and like beat his ass.
Tall? I didn't know he was that tall.
No, he's tall as shit, bro.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Taller than Drake. And Drake is like 6 foot flat, 6'1". So J. Cole's like 6'3", 6'4".
That's crazy.
What else? Oh yeah, so while he was dating Cassie, I guess there was a brief point where like they were splitting or arguing, and you know there was a gap in their relationship, and she was like talking / dating Kid Cudi, and he threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car And then like a week later, Kid Cudi's car actually blew up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like what did Kid Cudi do? Did he do anything about that?
I mean, he wasn't in the car.
I get that, but that's still like my property. So
but it's like Diddy, you know what I mean?
I don't.
Like
I would be right up on yo, like what the hell? Like
you don't know what Diddy be doing, bro. He also supposedly there's another story I heard that from a producer that he was like, a lot of people have been told before, but it's like, oh, you're gonna go work with Diddy. Like this is how it goes. Like, don't look at Cassie, don't talk to Cassie. Like, don't do this stuff. Like, if you just go into work, keep your head down and get out of there. And it was like a producer, and then like Wale and like some other people.
Yeah.
And supposedly, like Cassie was in the room. They were all talking it up, like being very respectful and cordial. But then P Diddy and a bunch of people ran in, and like, so
who is this?
Wale and Cassie.
Wale, okay.
And I don't think P Diddy was even supposed to be there, but they were hanging out, and I guess word caught up, and like P Diddy and some people like rushed in like black clothes, and like shut up blind and like took Wale to another room, and they like hung him off a balcony, and like threatened him for like talking to Cassie. So this is like,
I'm just crazy.
So it's not all love.
I'm just saying, like,
these are all allegedly, by the way.
Okay. To be honest, I've never heard of this, and it's kind of crazy that I haven't. I guess I've just been
living under a rock a little bit.
A little bit, but specifically, I guess with just Pete Diddy, because I mean, like, come on, like at the age, I feel like he was really popping. I mean, like we maybe heard some stuff about him, but after when I started getting older, I didn't really follow up on him and stuff like that.
You low key hear stuff all the time for years now. It's just how much gets swept under the rug, how many things get settled outside of court where, you know, don't have to talk about these things. But you think about his career, in all actuality of how long he's been around and how much shit he's been tied into, it does not surprise me at all. I remember last year there was a video, he dressed up as the Joker and like really, really well. And then I forgot who was the guy he was talking to. I think it was the guy who was in Creed or like some other show. They were like having an actual argument, but then Diddy like went up to him and like said some shit in his ear. And like the Bulls' whole tone just like switched up after that. Like it was like real shit. Like they was really about a fight. And he was like, yo, like you being weird.
Like, yo, but you look really cute, bro.
And he tried to switch. He was like, yo, like it's all love, man. Don't worry, like come to a party.
He whispered in his ear.
Yeah, like but it seemed like he really said some real shit to him. What else happened? And then way back in the day, like even up to this day, there's still rumblings of like the whole Biggie and Tupac stuff, because he was around for that stuff too. You don't think about that. Like he's been around for that long that he was he was a part of Bad Boy, like all that shit. Like that was him. He was managing and like doing all those deals. He was involved in that stuff, like Suge Knight, P Diddy, all that shit. Don't say that near him, son.
I don't care. What's he gonna do?
Hang you off the escalator. But yeah, that's a lot of shit that he's done before, and yeah, he's settled in court. I believe he was genuinely worried about a lot of that stuff, like being put in a courtroom, because you gotta swear under law and like.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I would too. I mean, again, me hearing this now for like basically the first time, I'm like, yeah, now I understand exactly why. Like that man would be cooked at the end of that. Like, no way.
And it was a similar situation with you seen the stuff with Dwight Howard, like the former NBA player.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you're talking.
So former center for the NBA, Dwight Howard, his most like dominant years were with the Magic, but he's played like with the Rockets and the Lakers and basically every team at this point. He was like towards the end of his career, he moved around a lot. He might have been with the Sixers at one point. I don't remember. It might have been very brief where he was supposed to. But yeah, he had a very long NBA career. There was like rumors and like not allegations, but like people were spreading rumors or like seeing videos, because you know, like there'll be the NBA games, but then you just catch like weird shit on the sidelines, and people like with social media, people pick up on everything. There used to be stuff back in the day where it was like, yo, when you see Dwight Howard dap somebody up, or like, you know, in sports you like pat somebody on the ass. There were some situations where like, yo, like Dwight's doing this like a little extra, like he's like grabbing under for like nuts and shit. Not ass, balls. And like he was like going underneath, and people were like, what's up with that, Dwight?
Nah, bro,
so that was
that's
like
not sliding with me.
Yeah, so that was the beginning of like, is Dwight Howard like in the closet type of stuff. Most recently, he received some like lawsuit or allegations of where he supposedly, you know, there was some assault allegations towards him. And for all this time, people were saying, he was saying that he was straight. He was like, I promise you, like, it's not like that. Yeah. Up until this happened, he was like, yeah, like, I don't get why you guys care that I sleep with men or whatever it may be. So for a long time, people had these thoughts, and like rumors, and then he denied it, and then finally confirmed it after the fact. But still, like the way it comes out now, you're gonna admit to it because you assaulted a man.
Yeah,
like that's kind of weird and kind of fucked up. And now what's even weirder to me too is that while this stuff is going on, he's on TikTok live like every day. He pops up on my feed, and he just be talking. He be like, "Yeah, like I'm making this jam sandwich." I'm like, "Bro, like you go to court." Like
jam sandwich.
he just be eating a sandwich and shit. I'm like, "Bro, why y'all talking to these people right now? Like, get off. You don't even want to see the chat." If I'm a celebrity and I'm going through something like that, I don't want to read no chats.
Oh yeah.
Especially if I'm an athlete, bro. I don't get. I mean, maybe they just don't look at chat, but there's a lot of professional athletes who will like go play against like the Warriors and then go home and like hop on Twitch and like play Call of Duty, and it's just like that can only work some nights maybe, because if you have a bad night, like you're just gonna read all these people like, yo, you fucked up my parlay, like
yo, you ass, bro.
Yeah, like 2 for 10, bro. Really? Like,
come on, bro.
I don't get how people are so cool with that. I mean, but again, you could just avoid looking at chat.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at social media all day, then what can you do?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a weird space, man. Obviously, there's no issue with being gay or bisexual or whatever it may be. I do have issue with assault, battery, and R word, and mistreating or abusing your partner or people that you get involved with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where my issue is at. It also sucks as well because I mean, as we get older, I feel like it's gonna get better with people being discussing and spreading awareness about these things more often and realizing that it's not as taboo as people make it out to be.
Yeah.
Especially with like homosexuality, bisexuality, whatever, pansexual, whatever it may be. It's just like that older generation where even if it's clear as day, there's still that old school stigma, I guess, for them where it's just like, I can't admit that even if I'll do it behind closed doors. Even with like there's stuff now, was it Will Smith's best friend said shit about Will Smith. Yeah. I don't know how true it is. Sometimes you got to pay attention to like the outlet as well, because it'll be like Vlad TV, and I'm like, a lot of the people on these things are just looking for a quick,
gossip story.
Yeah, just to be on headlines for a little bit, get some followers up. So I'm 50-50 with platforms like that. But if it's true, it's true. You know what I mean? And it'll explain other stuff, but it's just no issue.
It kind of sucks with stuff like that, But like you said, over time, it's just going to be more, I guess.
I would hope
common, and not be so like, I guess, hidden, because at that point you're just kind of like, I wouldn't say you're making it worse on yourself, but it's just a lot of the time. I guess it's, again, like you said, the older people make it like that, and I guess also it goes down into the generation, which makes the younger generation, I guess, afraid or scared to come out with stuff like that because they think of how they're going to think of them. So it's like, once it kind of starts getting a little bit further and further in the future, like stuff like that will stop happening.
It's not perfect, but like if you think about where the world was 10 years ago, as opposed to now, like miles different. Obviously, there's still their hardships. Obviously, like people are just fucked up in certain parts of the world. They're not over it. They're not catching up. But the world has become more, I would say, more accepting than not of gay, like the LGBTQ plus community. Well, made me even also think about it too, because you think about artists, which I haven't heard of in a while, Lil Nas X. Like, I feel like he's been kind of
that's so crazy you just said that, because I haven't either.
Yeah, like
so crazy.
He was like taking over the world at some point.
He disappeared. What the heck?
And then he came out, like he announced that he was gay, and then it's just been kind of cool. You haven't heard, when's the last time you heard Old Town Road?
Sure, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like
I feel like I referenced it maybe like a couple months ago or something, but like
not on the radio no more.
Yeah, definitely not on the radio.
He probably didn't like,
Man's Billy Ray Cyrus.
He probably didn't sell his
Yeah.
He probably didn't do all that, and they was like, never mind.
True, and I guess they were like, all right, it's over.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Or he's just cooking up like some crazy album.
That also could be the case. I feel like his like type of like personality is the type that just disappear and out of nowhere be like, oh, y'all miss me. And just drop something.
Some hard shit.
Yeah.
But, or even like Tyler Creator, during like Flower Boy, it was like, oh, like he came out, I believe he came out as bisexual or like whatever it may be. And people don't really give a fuck about that.
I think, to me, to be completely honest, I feel like, I mean, I guess it's a little bit more easier when it comes to like stuff like acting and music, but I feel like a lot of more people, I guess, are more accepting when it comes to people in those industries, because if you think about it, as far as like Frank Ocean, like he came out with
and he did that
so long ago,
bro. That was like 2010
exactly.
That was very difficult, and people were like, I remember people finding that out and being like, nah, like he's gay. Like he's not bi, he's gay.
Yeah.
And like I can't listen to him because he's gay. And it's like, yo, this shit is fucking fire, bro.
Yeah.
I've been a Frank Ocean fan since like
same, bro. And I just like, again, like it probably wasn't that accepting, I would say, but I feel like for people who are really fans and people who really understood, like he's making his music, like he's not doing anything to you. He's just trying to express himself through his music. And you're just like, again, before you even knew that, you were vibing with it.
Yeah, that's but that's 99% of stuff though. It's like, what does being gay have to do with anything else?
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. After you figured it out and you go back and listen to it, you're like, oh,
yeah, of course.
You know, but like
it was right there.
Yeah, but even then, like I didn't have a problem with it.
Do anything?
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. So it's just kind of like interesting when when something like that happened with somebody like Frank Ocean. You're just like, oh, at that point it was like kind of crazy that he was able to do something like that. But then just look how like it just kind of panned out. Like no one really like, I wouldn't say cared, but it was just like everybody was just okay with it. Like it wasn't an issue, he's the same person who's making the same amazing music, he's just expressing how he is as far as his life. So.
It's also like, to me, it's like very gangster to do that shit. Like the earlier you did, I'm like, yo, that's fucking G shit. Like Frank Ocean was probably like 18.
Yeah.
Like with his mixtapes and shit, just fucking dropping that on people and everybody's freaking out. He's like, yo, I don't give a fuck. Like y'all gonna listen to these albums because I know I'm talented.
Yeah.
He still dates women. He's still like, again, it's just what it is. Or even, this is a different situation, but it was unfortunate. It was like upsetting to me where another artist, I honestly, one of my favorite artists of like the recent past couple years, Isaiah Rashad, somebody leaked like I guess you could say a sex tape of him and like another man. And it was like random. Like he dropped his albums amazing, like a month. He was like a month into tour, and they just like put that out there and like exposed them essentially because he never hinted or said anything like that before. So that's another example of it. And gladly, I was very scared because he said leading up before that album that he disappeared for a minute. He was going through rehab for alcoholism, I believe, and like a bunch of other stuff. Came back and dropped this album. He's like, yo, there was points where I didn't, want to be alive, and it's difficult. And then to have the album come out, have it be received well, and then somebody expose you, it's like I was very worried of what he was gonna do to himself because of that, especially coming out of rehab.
Yeah.
But the world and his fans were like, yo, like you're good, bro. And he went and did an interview and like talked about it. And like he expressed what his sexuality is to people, and so for just to clear things up, he seemed very confident and comfortable with it. And he did the interview with Joe Budden, who also recently came out and said, he's like, yeah, like I like dudes, and I was just like, all right, cool, everybody just walked past that. Which is not a big deal. Like again, like do you, but it's also just funny to think about. Like out of all people, Joe Budden was just like, yeah, like
I mean, it's just him and his personality. It's kind of like when he said that, it's like you're kind of like okay, but because of who he is and the stuff that he does, you're just like more focused still on that.
Yeah,
you're just like, okay, you said it, but like still, bro, like why are you the way you are?
Yeah, that bothers me more.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying.
You can be gay, but what is it with you like trying to fight the Migos?
Exactly, like it makes no sense,
and
bro.
Dropping a whole essay about how you didn't like Drake's album. And
yeah, bro. And then Drake cut back and he didn't say nothing back. Oh man, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because imagine being Drake and taking advice from Joe Budden.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of the stuff he's saying, I guess you could say is valid depending on who you are, but
yeah, like I'm not going to say like everything he says is right, but I mean, I'm not going to also say that like every word that comes out of his mouth can't be like somewhat maybe like true or just like again in his opinion.
Broken clock is right twice a day. Is that the saying?
Is it? I don't know.
You never heard that before?
I haven't actually.
Okay, I'm gonna check that while you keep talking.
But I'm actually trying to think about that. A broken clock is twice a day. I mean, that's true, because as time goes, I mean, it's gonna be that time at some point,
Yeah, broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, so, I mean, that makes sense,
You feel me?
You feel me? I'm thinking about when he was rapping freaking Ice Spice.
Oh yeah, he said it's a munch. He said that little zesty.
Like, I like Ice Spice. I like Ice Spice. The way he said it, it's just so funny.
Oh, he gonna stand on it.
Right?
He's like, I like Ice Spice. I don't care what you guys gotta say about it.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Have you listened to Drake's new album and like the new?
I haven't listened to the. Oh wait, no, I actually haven't
at all.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Okay, so like again, this is just my thing with Drake.
Well, I played it around you for a little bit, but I didn't play the full thing.
Probably not. But no, wasn't that the other one?
Well, he just recently dropped like a Scary Hours 3.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I was asking about the album first, and then I was gonna ask, did you listen to Scary Hours 3?
Oh, so you're talking about the thing before. So you're talking about
mixture of both, because they're technically released together,
the dogs, right? Or
yeah,
something like that.
Because he released it as like an extension to it or something.
Oh, did he? Okay,
yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I thought it was like it's separate thing.
It's essentially a deluxe.
Okay. But yeah, I never really. I listened to like maybe kind of halfway, and I stopped just because like I don't know. It's my thing with Drake is just again like I respect you, I love your music, but it's like when you come out with music like once every like 3 months, it's like.
Yeah, now he's been very like it used to be like an annual thing.
Yeah.
And like he'll have his singles or his features, but now it's like way back in the day he was never dropping this many projects a year.
Yeah.
Now it's been like 2 to 3 a year.
Yeah. I think he's just like in the studio so much and now just kind of like feeling out all the songs that he does and just like, okay, what can I just put in the album? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he said he's done now. Like he said he's gonna take not done, but he's gonna take a long break for his health and stuff.
That's good.
But he said that after he dropped the album. And then he dropped Scary Hours 3. And then in Scary Hours 3, he's like, I know I said I quit, but like I just had a couple of these for y'all. He was just like, I got a couple more verses to let off. But I will say, it's like the songs in Scary Hours 3, a lot of them are just way better than what's in the bulk of the album.
I know.
Like you think about like that Bad Bunny song, like other songs like that were very forgettable. I would have much rather taken those songs from Scary Hours 3 and just plugged them into For All the Dogs. Because it was just him it was like 4 or 5 songs him just rapping. Like, you hear like his last song of that.
I feel like we always say this, bro. Rappers who just rap.
Especially him though.
Yeah.
When he because every album he used to do this, where it would either be the first or the last song of his albums where he is just like 10 minutes of just him just talking his shit.
Yeah.
Like where he just either if it's him venting or him talking about how he's the shit and there's no hooks, no singing, no nothing. It's just straight just him rapping.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this is what we want, bro.
Yeah.
This is your best shit. Now you trying to make a radio hit. Because we always make the joke of like Drake always just tries to remind you that he can sing on every song.
Yeah.
Where he would just like drop this crazy verse. He's like, and that's just the way. Like, it's just like, you're not trying to hear that shit. I mean, we are, but there's a time and place. But
there's like, you can do that just on like a song. Like do that on a separate song. But don't like try to combine it, but him in the combination. So.
Yeah. and now give him his credit. Way before he came around, that wasn't really a thing of like singing rappers. Now every rapper has to be a singing rapper.
That's true.
They have to add their own hook.
True, yeah.
Back then it was like you would like a Jay-Z era type shit. It's like you would spit your verse and you would bring in like a woman to go sing the feature singing song part to kind of accompany it.
Yeah.
Drake came along and was like, yo, I could sing and rap. And I don't even need features. I'm gonna just be both. And that changed everything. Because now you have like artists where that's just, you have to be that. You have to be that full like triple threat or whatever, and maybe double threat.
Which I kind of low key don't like.
Yeah.
Just because like, again, like it's cool that you can do that. But now it's like.
But not everybody should.
Not everybody. Yeah, not that everybody should. But also it's like it kind of closes the door for some artists who like can get that spot. Like, because I'm thinking more so when he did Nothing Was the Same. And he brought in Jhené Aiko, you know, like that was like her big, like kind of in a sense, like her big debut of like actually being now on an album, being more popular and stuff like that. Because like again, she was on that song featured, and it's just like, yeah, you know, Joe Budden be like,
I'll be like,
exactly. So I'm just sitting here thinking like, damn, like I wish it was more like that because then you can get more features, but then you got features that he brought in with freaking Sexy Red.
Yeah.
That's
bend that ass over.
Yeah, no, I don't need that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. That song can still be considered valid for sure.
For a club.
And a time and place. But if we're gonna put it on, more
it's not the same.
Exactly. A little different.
Nothing was the same.
Nothing was the same.
But yeah, I mean, and then as you think about it, like there's a lot of artists that they still, just rap and that's their thing. But it's hard, that doesn't fit the mainstream. So they'll have their fan base, but they'll kind of stay where they're at in a way. So you think of like those guys are just only bars, like you're kind of missing that to get to that point. And some others just don't like sell their souls and shit. But that's just for another day. We're running out of time here, people. We're gonna hop up out of here before Diddy or the Illuminati comes here to find me. Mark, where can they find you?
Find me Instagram. ETC Marky Mark, Twitter, Marky Mark, Victor, where can they find you, and etc.
Find me everywhere at ETC Victor, and etc. stuff is at Real Etc. on all platforms. Our email is real.etc@gmail.com. We appreciate you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys for 1,600 subs. We on our way to 1,700 subs. We growing. We moving. wish this guy a happy birthday, because by the time next time you see him, it'll already be past his birthday. So send him all the happy birthday wishes. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. We're out of here. Bye.